Hello again, everyone, on my second video. This is Sivapane, the Dream Master. Um, I'm getting my herbs in for my potion I plan on brewing up to try and put myself in a dream state to go see my spirit guide and all that stuff. But besides that, there was an interesting a fact I found the other day, which I thought was interesting. Well, the first thing I should do is get a bit of background. Me and my mum argue a lot about politics and stuff like that. She watches the Alex Jones, and I mean, a lot of what he says, I'm thinking, yeah. But he's just so religious that it just skews it so much for me that it's really hard to take him seriously when he's talking about people that worship Satan and sacrifice babies and stuff like that to demon worship to make themselves immortal and stuff like that. I mean, come on, people. One thing me and Mum have a huge argument with is she believes there's this big massive government conspiracy about some secret behind the government, like Illuminati type crap, that has been taking over control of the world slowly for the last 100 or so year. My logical assumption of that is, well, if they're meant to be this massive secret organisation, they're the most known secret organisation there ever was. And everybody knows their secret hidden plans. So, I mean, they're not doing very good at it, are they? So I think there's just idiot people doing idiot things and bureaucracy doing what bureaucracy does. That's why we have a problem with the government and things going awry and, people making idiot decisions and the idiot liberals and stuff that we got, you know? But all that boils down to the fact that you have these controversial Black Lives Movement things. I mean, they're not so big now, and I've got nothing wrong with the whole Black Lives thing. I mean, yeah, the blacks should be able to protest their rights and stuff like that. It was when they were rioting and smashing into buildings and looting and stuff that I had a problem with them. So, my thing is that they're all on about. There was a big thing, I don't know if it's still a big thing now, but there was a big thing about getting compensation for the slavery of the African American people, and that the generation now, which is what, like 3 or 4 generations later, should deserve compensation for the evils put upon their ancestors. And personally, I'm one of those British comedy sarcastic type persons with my comedy. See, people generally don't like my comedy because my comedy is all about putting people down or being super sarcastic or taking things to the absurd. Someone will pose an idea to me and I'm like, well, that's a bit dumb because if you think about it this way, like, yeah, I found out recently. I mean, I've always kind of known it that every Caucasian and I think Polynesian and like apparently anyone other than sub-Saharan Africans have at least up to 4, maybe 5% Neanderthal DNA in them. Now, I don't know how much DNA you need to have in you, as they say when they go, oh, I did a DNA test and I'm 12% Latino and 8% African American and all that. Well, I'm Norse. My mum came over from England when she was quite young. She was born there, so she's definitely English bred. She has very common history. It probably goes right back to Vikings and all that, which you definitely have Neanderthalic genes and northern, eastern, western Europe and stuff like that. All have the Neanderthal genes in them. So there's no doubt that I would have the Neanderthal genes. So does that mean that I should get compensation for the genocide of my Neanderthal heritage? Because, I mean, that would be taking it to extreme, wouldn't it? See, that is just ridiculous. And a lot of these liberal things like this go to these extremes. Or when you take them to the extremes that people would take them to, it gets ridiculous. And you've got to be logical about these things. I mean, you can't just pay off everyone that's had an ancestor that got whipped by a slave master. I mean, I know I should be guilty about being white, shouldn't I? Isn't that the big thing now? Oh my God, I'm a Caucasian male with Christian, not that I'm a Christianity type background. Aren't I the evil of the world at the moment? But really, I'm just a farm boy that doesn't do much. I'm collecting bottles and cans around my hometown, mainly for the money. I don't really particularly care about the environment. I mean, more for saving the environment, but, you know, if I wasn't making money out of it, I wouldn't bother putting the effort into it. Might only be 10 cents a can or bottle, but hey, it's 10 cents. I got like $20 in the back of the ute anyway at the moment. So, yeah, I showed you the Shih Tzu the other day. And he's asleep, so I'm annoying him. But he won't mind. Oh, he's my little chihuahua. Oh, isn't he adorable? Ah. Why did they? Jojo, or as I like to call him, Joey Josephson. Yeah. You back to sleep now. Just wanted to show you. See, everyone loves cute animals. He's the best behaved chihuahua I've ever met. I worked in vet clinics for about 6 months, 3 or 4, 3, yeah, and 4. One for like 2 weeks and the rest for like a couple of months each. And the only only animal I got injured from was chihuahua. When the vet was clipping its nails and I was holding it, scratched me with his back leg all the way down my arm. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But that's my animal opinions. What else have I thinking about lately? I don't know. I mean, trying to get me gardens going, but it's terrible weather up there at the moment. And we are starting to move into autumn, or as you northerners would call, northern hemispheres, the fall. You'd be going into your spring now, wouldn't you? Yeah, I think so. Our spring's in September. My parents got a new dog, a bull terrier. They're going out showing, so I get some weekends and some nights by myself. I love that. I get to contemplate and meditate and stuff like that. Drink. I watched that new Lost in Space, the upgraded version. But other than that, I haven't been doing much. No. Oh, I got an interesting one. My mum's sister's daughter went to her psychologist. We won't go on about what she is, but the psychologist gave her a test and told her she had a personality problem. And I looked up the definition of personality problems and stuff like that. And basically, if you're a loner and you don't like people and you prefer your own company, then you have a personality problem. So I went online and I took the personality test to see if I had a personality problem. And, I think I probably would have scored miserable. especially with the socialization aspect of it, because, you know, I've never been real good with people. But, yeah, it's remarkable how psychologists work nowadays. Yeah, they just... I've never really liked psychologists. There's only one that I've ever seen that I liked. But the rest... one told me that I was abused by my father. And I said, yeah, it was the era. I'm 40, so... And he's 75 or 74, being 75 this year. And yeah, when I was in trouble, I got spanked. But, you know, as I try to explain to this psychologist, I always knew what I was being punished for. I was always explained to me. I never got punished for nothing significant, like for insignificant stuff. You know, lying, thievery, you know, stuff like that. It's the stuff I used to get spanked for. You know, not little things and stuff. I personally would spank my own children, but you can't do that in this day and age. It's not the era for it, so I don't plan on having any kids anyway. Oh, my best friend, she just had her second kid. That was interesting. I'll see if I can flash a picture of the baby. Everyone likes babies. I don't know, maybe not. I don't want to do it without letting her know it's her baby, not mine. It's a baby anyway, you know what babies are. It's small and squidgy and there. But yeah, she's happy. The hubby's iffy about the whole thing. He wasn't very happy when she told him he was pregnant to start with. He's gotten better as the pregnancy goes on. He's way more excited about it now than he was. Yeah. And the elder daughter, she's like 8. She's not my kid, but as far as I'd go, she's pretty close to being a genius. The things happen at her school. The way that the schools are being treated nowadays are terrible. Schools are fucking... over in America, I'm not really sure how it's going over in America. I heard that, they're teaching Muslim classes in Canada. There's got nothing wrong with teaching religion to kids, but you got to be... If you're teaching one religion, you got to teach them all. You can't be biased with religion. You got to let the kid make its decision. It's the only way the kid will actually ever really be truly part of the faith, is if it makes its own decision. You can't really force anyone. People grow up in being Christians and stuff like that, but what are you going to do? I call it indoctrination. They call it teaching. But she's having a lot of problems at her school, especially with bullying and stuff like that. Because the teachers, they just can't control the kids anymore. The kids can run amok and do what they want. So the bullies got designated a special part of the oval where that's their territory. And if anyone goes within their territory and they get bullied or beat up, well, that's their own damn fault. That's ridiculous for a primary school. This should be lower school, 8-year-olds and stuff like that. That's just weird. And then lately the thing has been that she's not allowed to draw in class, during her free time, when they get the free time to, most of the kids just lay on their desk and sleep. I used to read when I was a kid. But she likes to draw, and they're not letting her draw. I told her, I said, you should tell your teacher. She's 8 years old, so, she probably didn't really understand what I said, but, you got to try and elevate these kids. That's why I think she's a lot more intelligent than the average child her age, because me and her mother don't treat her like a kid. We'll sit there and discuss philosophy and religion, and she'll come in and ask questions, and we'll answer her the way that I'd answer her mum, And my thing is, I'm a super skeptic. I always try and look at everything from every side. I mean, yeah, this is what I think, but there's also people that think this and this and this and this, and they could be just as right as me. I don't know. See, I had a bit of an argument with my dad today because he's very staunch on the whole, when we die, that's it. There's no afterlife. You're just dead. Your essence is gone, and like the ultimate super atheist belief in after death. Well, I'm pretty much on the same boat. That's what I kind of, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I pretty much think that too. But see, that's my big thing about the difference between faith and hope. I believe that my dad's right, that I'm pretty much gonna be nothing when you die. But there's so much religion in the world, and so many people believe, and there's so many questions about it, and philosophies and stuff that logically, and the whole energy thing about, what is life, energy. We don't know what life is, so I believe it's some sort of energy we can't detect, or can't detect yet. My whole thing about science is if we can't find out what the soul is yet, well, maybe we just got to wait a couple 100 years until our instruments get good enough. Who knows? But back to the school, yeah. Yeah, she can't go into a certain section of the school because she gets bullied. She can't draw. I mean, this girl's gotten head sports girl for the last 3 years in a row. And I think she's got 1 B grade once in. I think she's not so good at maths or something, is her weak spot. Which is, I'm terrible at maths. So. But we play a lot of D. That's how I got good at maths. Well, at least reasonably okay at maths. Quicker on my fingers. Anyway. Yeah, and it's just ridiculous what's happening in these schools. And I mean, yeah. And they're trying to teach about transgender. And like, we're from a northern western town in Western Australia or whatever. Some country in the backwater nowhere. So her school's not a very big school, it's a country school, I mean. And there's, yeah. You think she'd be like a little buffered from that sort of thing. I mean, I got nothing wrong with it. They shouldn't be teaching kids it though. That's something that you should discover through your parents or through your own exploration. And yeah, it's just, you don't sit down at a table and talk about transgender people screwing in different ways to, yeah. It's like Mum was telling me today that there was this lady, I think some African parliament or whatever. She goes and wears completely white clothes. And she has a woman time. I mean, I could say it, but I don't think YouTube likes that sort of thing. And of course, she stains herself all over. And like during why she goes into Parliament and sits down, someone questions if she was adequately dressed to be in the Parliament. And she gets up and protests, I had a woman's accident, and to deny me access to this Parliament for a natural function. Well, my attitude is, would you have walked in there if you pissed yourself or crapped yourself? I mean, yeah, women have periods. That's what they do. I mean, it's a natural thing. But, yeah, you don't, like, you don't, I wouldn't walk into a courthouse or the Parliament House with gravy stains on my front of my shirt, let alone that sort of stuff. If I'd gone, like, work and like cut myself or something, and then threw on a shirt and stuff and started bleeding down my front, and half of it was all covered in blood and stuff, and I had to go to court or go to a courthouse and pay a fine or do something. You know, I wouldn't go with myself bleeding covered in blood, would you? You just don't do that. It's not about hygiene, or it's about being human. I know, it's just odd, I think, the way people seem to be behaving nowadays. Hey, take me back to the 40s, and I mean, I personally fucking fascinated with the mafia. I love any crime that, I mean, I know they were evil and they killed people. Well, no, I don't really believe in evil, but they killed people, but they had a little code, and, you know, you didn't screw them. They had traditions. They weren't just a mindless gang. That's all you got nowadays. Just got gangs of thugs that go out and pillage and plunder and beat up old men and stuff like that. I mean, hell, the mafia wouldn't beat up no old man for his cash in his wallet. They'd beat him up if he was a judge and they needed him to change his opinion or something. But it wouldn't kill him for the money. It wouldn't beat him up for the money. Killing, it was business. It was, except for when they killed each other, and then it was personal. I mean, yeah, I read a book by Linda LaPlante, Bella Mafia. That was really good. Now I'm reading some. I thought it was like a fiction, non-fiction story book thing, but it ends up being like a documentary in a book form type thing. Basically about the history of the mafia. It's still interesting enough for me to keep listening to it. I don't know. It's not much I've been doing other than that sort of thing. It's pretty boring, this one. I just thought I'd talk about the Neanderthals and chat. I guess I was bored and wanted to chat to someone. Really just doing this for my own reasons, really. If people want to listen to me, then go for it. Not really saying much. I'll get more into it later. I'll start doing more and stuff like that. And, you know, I have to wait until we get out of our summer. It's terrible. I get up, water my garden, and then it's just too hot to do anything. I come in my room, turn the aircon on, and half nap the most of the rest of the day until about 4. And then it's out, doing my evening things, feeding the dogs, checking the gardens again, harvesting anything. Like, tomatoes are doing alright, but I don't eat tomatoes, so it's kind of moot. I've got oranges going, but they're going to be ripe in a while. But, a few weeks to go, or months ago maybe, they're still green. Ugh. Oh, I went and got a whole heap of good clothes. I've always been like a shirt and tracky pants guy, and I've never really cared about my clothes and stuff like that. But all my clothes are getting so old, and half of them are ripped, and I've lost about, I don't know, 2 months ago I was 85 kilos. I don't know what that is in pounds and stuff. I could look it up, but I don't know, can't be stuffed. And now I'm 68 kilos. So what's that, 6, 7, that's like nearly 10, 12 kilos I lost in a couple months. So I went to wear some of my good clothes that I used to wear. And none of them fit me. They were all way too, like I could fit 2 of me in them. It's like, well, this isn't any good. So I went down and I bought a heap of, well, I bought a whole set of new clothes. It cost me $100. I mean, that's not sound not much. I mean, conversion rate to American is probably only about $60 American dollars, but for me, it's a lot of money. On pension, I only get like $900 a fortnight. So what that would be? What, about 600 a fortnight then? 600 American a fortnight? I don't know. And I've been getting into the stock market a lot. You know, there's this plus 500 one. I've been getting lots of ads for it and stuff like that. And I'm just looking for ways to get a bit of extra cash. But the stock market's not really a way of doing that. I don't think I'll actually try and do the stock market. Though, when you load up the app and you try and start to register to get on and play around with it, it makes you take a test. And it tests you on your knowledge of the stock market. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, okay. I don't know much, but I know a little bit. I know you buy when things are going up and sell before they go down. Isn't that obvious? Isn't that basically all you need to know? There's a lot more to it, apparently. All about rates and buying positions and selling positions and stuff like that. I'm figuring it out. And I seem to be making a bit of money. I mean, I got more money than they start with. But yeah, they give you like this option to play with no money, and they give you 50 grand in your little bank thingy on the side. And you just pretend to play, but it's using the real stock market. Like as if you were playing with real money on the real stock market. So you got to watch it, and like during the night when it's closed, you can't do anything. It's not like a game. You got to wait until it opens for real, and stuff like that. And you got to watch it. And I'll be going in on the news websites and watching. Like lithium's about to really go big. If anyone plays the stock market, it's interesting. Look around at lithium. Australia's got like Pilbara Mining Company or something like that, Industries, and they're about to get right into lithium. So I have a thing there. Stock market's going to go mash up because lithium is big for the new type of batteries that are coming out for all the solar stuff and the electric cars and things. And I mean, I know Northern, my town, is going to try and push for having a lot more electric cars within the Shire. They've got like this big 10-year plan. So my part of that plan is to use these cash for containers to try and earn enough money to buy a portable charging car charger and solar panels to use the car charger. And then I got my ute, set it all up in the back of my ute and drive around Northern and basically charge people's cars up at their homes using the solar, like rock up to their place, lay out the solar panel, charge their car up, use the solar panel to charge their car up. Or you use the solar panel to charge a battery and use that battery to charge the other battery. Because my dad's got all the equipment, like he's got the solar panel and the battery, but he uses it to run all his camping equipment and stuff when mum and dad and him go camping. Well, they go camping, but they actually go dog showing. But a lot of times they have to go camping because they go so far away. They have to go overnight and stuff. So they set up the car for camping and stuff. So yeah, that's my very, very long-term plan. And like, mate, $20 for an hour charge, or maybe a bit more. We'll try $30 or whatever. We'll see how much it costs me to set it all up and stuff. I was going to do like a spot where people came and that, but then my mum said, well, why don't you just do like a portable one? Because all the servos are going to set it up so people can go there and stuff. But you can do one where they can like, oh no, I haven't got enough charge in my car. Left a light on or something like people do in their motor car. But then you just charge your battery up in the alternator charges it. But that doesn't work with the electric car. So you go there and you give them an hour charge, which is like up to 40 to 90 kilometers, depending on the battery in the car and the charger and stuff. And you give them enough to go to a fuel station to charge up properly, or no, it's only Northern, just to drive around Northern. People can, if they're only going to go use their electric car once or twice a week, they can call me the day before and I'll charge it up for them, and then they can use their car, go shopping and stuff like that, whatever. As long as I make some money out of it, I don't care. Oh, well, that's been 30 minutes. If any of you are interested in listening to me, I thank you. As they say, subscribe, comment, tell me how much you hate me or how much you like me, how much you think my ideas suck, or how much you think my ideas are controversial, or my opinions. Argue with me, please. I love a good argument, but don't get pissed off about it. Everyone has opinions. The right to free speech. I disagree with your opinion, but I'll fight for the death for your right to say it. That's one of my big beliefs. I mean, yeah, you might be an idiot. I might think you're an idiot for saying what you say, but you're allowed to say it. Alright then. Bye, y'all.